I'm now joined with Emma Kavanagh, Communications Officer for Dublin Food Co-op, to talk about the co-op itself and some upcoming events being organised through their Community Development Programme. Good afternoon, Emma. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Johnny. Nice to be with you.
First of all, Emma, Dublin Food Co-op is a community that was set up in 1983. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so it was set up by initially a group of friends who were all really interested in the environment and vegetarianism and organic food. So they decided to start buying food together because it would make it cheaper for them and to give them good access to organic food, which was kind of hard to get at the time. So it started out kind of like a buyer's club, of people who were friends. And it's expanded and grown since then. So now it's quite a large group of people. So anyone can come and shop with us in our shop in Kilmainham. You can become a member if you like, but you don't have to. You can just come in and shop with us. That's no problem. So we're a co-op that welcomes everyone in.
So what exactly makes a cooperative different?
Yeah, so co-ops aren't terribly common in Ireland in terms of consumer co-ops. So the difference, it's kind of one of the best ways that I had it explained to me first was it's kind of like the difference between a credit union and a bank. So a credit union is run for the members by the members. So that's how co-ops are. And we're the same as that as well. So lots of people might know maybe farming co-ops or dairy co-ops. So Dublin Food Co-op, like a couple of other co-ops around the country, is a members co-op. So we're run and owned by the consumers who shop in the co-op itself. So we're not necessarily people who, not everyone is necessarily someone who produces food or, is a grower, but lots of us are just people who want to buy good quality food. And being a co-op together gives us lots of buying power. And it means that we have access to the best quality and the best value organic food. And we can choose to support people who we agree with and who are, who we'd love to support ethically. So we have loads of Irish suppliers. We have about 70 Irish suppliers, most of whom are small independent businesses, which are great. And then we support some other international suppliers as well. So people from Palestine, people from the UK, stuff like that. So as local as possible, and also to do with people whose ethics we support and who kind of chime in with what we're interested in doing in the world. Yeah.
Okay, and what would be the benefit for becoming a member?
There's a few kind of strands. At the moment, it's a bit unusual, of course, because we're very much like a food community. So we're used to having events and we're used to being able to get together and see people and kind of have the chats and stuff when people are in doing their shopping with us. So right now, we're not as able as normal to do that, which is tricky for everyone, in all different kinds of shops. So the financial benefits then are the shareholder. Everyone is a shareholder who's a member. Everyone has a €1 share. You sign up for a year at a time, and that's you pay a subscription for that. So that's between maybe €10 for one person if they're a student or if they're retired or if they're not working. Or for a person who's working, it's €15 for the year. And then it means that you get a 5% discount if you're a member, and you can also choose to volunteer if you like. And that means that you get between 15 and 25% discount, depending on how much you'd like to volunteer. So that can be as little as 2 hours a month, or it can be 4 hours a week. It's totally up to yourself. It depends on, what time you have to give and what you're interested in. So people can come in and they can volunteer in the shop. In normal times, they can help us running events, or they can volunteer with stuff in our office or our marketing. There's loads of different ways people can get involved. Or if they have a particular interest or a particular hobby that they do, maybe they're a yoga teacher or something, and they wanted to get in touch with us and say, I'd like to do an event with you, then we're totally open to all different kinds of things like that.
Sounds all great, actually. What type of products are sold by the co-op? Are they all organic?
So the majority of our products are organic. So I'd say we think about 95% is organic. And also all of it is vegetarian, and it always has been since 83 when we set up. All our founder members wanted it to be a vegetarian co-op. So we have a lot of members who are vegetarian, a lot who are vegan, and then a lot who are neither of those things and who are just wanting to eat good quality produce and maybe reduce their meat consumption. But they might have meat as part of their diet as well. So it's vast majority organic. We're trying to always expand as much local as possible. So we have 5 different farms around the country who are supplying us. The nearest one is in Cherry Orchard, which is just up the road. So we're delighted with that. We have a small number of produce that is non-organic, and we're choosing that over, let's say we might choose a non-organic source of something from the UK versus an organic source of something from China, because it being as nearby as possible, low air miles, those are all factors for us as well.
Yes, of course, yeah. Has the pandemic affected sales in any way? Probably upwards.
Yeah,
for your business.
it's been a tricky time for sure. Like, it's kind of hard to manage, and we've been really busy, I have to say. So like March last year was our busiest time since we've opened in Kilmainham. So we've been there since November 2018, and March last year was just very full on. We had loads of people visiting us, lots of people for the first time, which was great. You know, it was an excuse for them to get to know us, which was really nice for them and for us. So we had lots of people because they wanted to shop somewhere nearer to their house, you know. So we had a lot of people coming in for that reason who kind of got to know us that way. So yeah, it's been very busy. So we've had in the last 12 months, we've definitely had more staff involved. We were doing a lot of extra hours in terms of cleaning and in terms of ordering more stock, you know, because we were kind of not sure how much. At first we were sort of, because you're always kind of judging. It's a balancing act between having enough stock and not having so much that any goes to waste, you know, by not being bought up in time. So it's definitely been a busy time. Yeah.
Okay. And there's also an online delivery service and also click and collect.
There is, yeah. So like a lot of people, the last year really pushed us to get our act together in terms of our website, because it's something we've been working on for a long time. You know, it's been long coming, but it's really accelerated this year. So earlier last year, we decided to put into action our click and collect service. So people could go onto the website, they can place their order, and then they can come and collect it in person. So it just means they don't need to walk around the shop picking stuff up for themselves. We can pick it out for them in advance, and they can just come and collect it there. And then more recently, we've moved to delivery service. So it's just in a few areas of Dublin, kind of near to us at the moment. So like Dublin 8, Dublin 12, Dublin 6, and a few more. And that's actually through a bicycle courier, which is really great as well. So it means that the stuff gets delivered by pedal power, which is something we support as well. So, and that's something we'd love to do more of in the future. And we're kind of learning as we go along and expanding it as we go along. So it's been great, because people have been asking for years for us to do delivery, and we just kind of didn't have it all our ducks in a row yet. So it's good to start expanding into that as well.
Excellent. Roughly how many members do you have?
It kind of depends on the time of year, because we do a renewal January is renewal time, so it's between kind of 2,500 to 3,000, depending on the time of year.
What is the website address, by the way, for anybody who wants to order?
Sure, yeah. So it's a bit of a funny one. It's at dublinfood.coop, so .coop. But also, if they Google us, they'll find us pretty quickly.
Emma, tell us about the community development programme and how that operates.
Yeah, sure. So this is our second year doing it. So the first kind of season we did it was autumn 2019, spring 2020. So that was really great. We got most of the way through. We only had one or two events that we had to postpone because of COVID. So we had a good range of stuff that year. And they were all in-person events, I think. So versus then, of course, this year, we kind of weren't sure whether we'd get the opportunity to put it on. And then, you know, as things kind of kept, you know, transpired, we kind of thought, okay, we can't do in-person events, but we can do online events. And so we put out a call to our members through our newsletter and through our social media to say, listen, does anyone have any events they'd like to put on that they could do virtually, that we can work with them to put on and kind of, you know, have a way for people to keep being involved with the community and kind of keep socializing with each other, even if it is online, because community is such a huge aspect of what we do for us. Like we miss being able to see everyone. So yeah, it's been great. You know, some people got in touch with us and we put on some different events, and there's a few have happened and a good few more to come. So it's great to have something sociable to look forward to, you know, at this time especially.
Yes, I think you have 3 coming up this month, for the rest of the month. 3 in May,
yeah.
1 in June and another in September. Would you like to give us some examples of some of those events, just to give us a brief idea of what it's all about?
Yeah, sure. So we have, coming up in April, the nearest ones we have are on the 17th, we have a Mediterranean feast cook-along with one of our members, as a chef called Mary Byrne. So that's going to be on Saturday. So it starts at 12 and you cook along with her and you get sent your list of ingredients in advance. So that you just make sure you have everything to hand. So you start at 12 and then you'll be ready by lunchtime, ready for 1 o'clock. So you'll have a nice little Mediterranean feast for your Saturday lunch that day. So that has a couple of different, she has a list of ingredients, a list of recipes that she's going to take us through. So things like olive tapenade and chickpea stew. So they're all vegetarian because we're vegetarian, obviously. So it's going to be, it's a great way to kind of learn to do more cooking with less meat involved, which is cool. It's something a lot of people are interested in at the moment, which is great. So that's, and as well, like that's kind of a family friendly one too. So if people have kids who are interested in cooking, or maybe they kind of want to steer them in the direction of learning to try some new foods, I think that would be a good one too. That Mary's got a lovely event set up for that. Yeah. So the next event that I think is going to be really interesting then after that is called the Cooperative Journey. And it's with a lady called Tiziana O'Hara, who's from a group called Cooperative Alternatives. And she's great at these kind of, she's really kind of genial person, and we've had her to part of one of our events last year as well, so we're delighted to be hooking up with her again. It's going to be a nice one. So it's kind of about like exploring the idea of what a cooperative is, what it could be. If people had like a business idea, could it be done through a cooperative? How would they go about setting up their own like community group through a cooperative? So it's kind of just giving people a taster of what it means and what it could be and what the potential is for a co-op. So they could set one up themselves. Like they could look into, would this be a suitable model for their project or their business in the future? Okay. So that's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it sounds brilliant. Actually, do you need to be a member to take part in any of these events?
You don't know. And the one I just mentioned there, the Cooperative Journey, that's a free one to attend. There's a couple of different ones. Most of them are free, actually. They're mostly webinar based. So they're like you're sitting down at the computer kind of a one, and most of them are free to attend. And there's one or two you have to be a member to attend. Just there's one that is a talking co-op that you have to be a member, but the vast majority of them are free and open for anyone to attend who wants to be involved. And we're hoping as well we have a few more scheduled for June and September, and we're hoping to add a few more in as well as people kind of come up with more ideas. So we'd love to add more into the mix too.
And for anyone interested, how can they access any of these events?
The best way is to look at our website, so dublinfood.coop, and there is a tab there. It's called Our Community, and if they go to events, they'll find it there. And it's also actually on our homepage. You also run ongoing member sessions for members, weekly online meetings. Just tell us a little bit more about that briefly. Yeah, so those, again, they started up in March last year, and when we kind of were getting to grips with the idea that we wouldn't be able to do social events like we were used to. So they are happening every Saturday. They're at 4:30. Totally free to attend. It's just a meetup for whoever wants to have a chat. And what they do is it's hosted by a member of our co-op and a volunteer for several years, who's a lovely man, Patrick Doyle is his name. And he's a historian, actually, and the history of co-ops is his background. So he's ideally placed to host these events. He facilitates them for us. He's brilliant. And so they pick a different topic every week, and you can either read, there's they pick something to read, or they pick a film to watch in advance, and then they get together on Saturday and have a chat about it. But you don't have to, people are busy, might not have time to read something in advance. So if you didn't get a chance to read a thing, but you just want to come along and have a chat about a topic that's interesting, so there's loads of different kind of weekly topics that they pick, cooperative housing, or there's just loads of different cooperative and kind of things about, Ireland, and they different reports that they look at. There was a Rethink Ireland who was actually supporting our community development program, had a report, and they read through that report one week and kind of had a chat about it in terms of in real life, what does that mean? What kind of real life repercussions do things like this have for people in our community? So it's a really great one. It's really nice. People enjoy it as an opportunity to get together without being able to get together in person. Right, so we leave it there for today. Thanks again, Emma, for joining us. Thanks very much, Danny. Great talking with you. All the very best and take care. Cheers. Now, that was Emma Kavanagh, Communications Officer for Dublin Food Co-op, talking about how the co-op operates and also about some upcoming events through their Community Development Programme. Community Development